the book of Jeremiah, chapter 51, verse 14. The Yahweh of hosts has sworn by himself, saying, surely I will fill thee with men as with caterpillars, and they shall lift up a shout against thee. Okay, first and foremost, I like to give infinite honors and prayers to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rekah HaKodash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, a great millstone, and salutation to the icons that's pushing the truth and sincerity. Lord willing, this video be edifying first and foremost to the whole elect, then to those that cleave to the body. Is this just a double standard? All right, or this ICE thing is getting very interesting. As you can see in the heading there, I got this clip, this article pulled up. It says, ICE head says agents will arrest anyone found in U.S. illegally. All right, so in order to get in a place where, all right, there's protocol and customs and different things to enter in, visas and, you know, amongst other things from what we would call people that's not American native, all right, a U.S. native, all right, they have to go through a process of basically legalizing themselves, all right. But now, you see, you know, through the ICE, you know, obviously the immigration situation, all right, customs enforcement, all right. You have the whole thing going on with the migrants, you know, chiefly the northern tribes or whatnot. Okay, but now, you know, as it done came out that they got Iranian sleeper cells and amongst other things dwelling in America or other people, all right. You have majority of these people in America are illegals, man. Besides the American-born people, they probably have more people here that's actually illegal than legal. You see? Because when the Lord gather the ambushes up against this place, you're gonna have foreign troops in here, all right, to do what's said against Babylon the Great in the scriptures, man. All right, because the U.S. people are docile, all right, the loving and caring of the, you know, the Americans and the spirit of America, all right, that they're not going to be able to carry out the said judgment, all right, that the elites done built up against this place, man, when it's time, you see? So they got to have more troops in here, even if they have more, you know, foreign nations in here than, I mean, even if there is more Americans than foreign nations, there are countless amounts, all right, of different sects, of different nations inside of here. That's why she's called the melting pot. You see? Because there's nations from everywhere over the globe, all right? They're all over. But I started off in that Jeremiah 51. Let me jump up to 12. It says, set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon. Make the watch strong. Set up the watchmen. Prepare the ambushes. You see? For Yahweh had both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. O that dwellest upon many waters, abundant in treasures, all right? Thine end is come, and the measure of thy covenants, man. Because, you know, the elites have heaped to themselves many people, okay? They ain't just got up over you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, all right? The elites have gotten over the world, the 1%, okay? So they have everybody in the palm of their hands. Okay, so when you prepare an ambush, you don't ambush the people with the people. You know, so these people, you know, these people in the militaries and that, they got American families, all right, and amongst different things. But further and foremost, right, they're not going. Once they see what the agenda is fully about, all right, they're not gonna be willing to do it. So you got to bring in people that's willing to do it, which America done made themselves enemies to the neighboring countries, man. All right? So what's better more than to bring those countries in who's looking for a recompense and a payback for what they've done in their countries, man? You see? That's the easier, you know, that's fair game, as one would say. You know? They get a 2-for-1, all right? They get to uphold the declaration in which these elites, you know, what they want to do to you Americans, and secondly, they get some payback, man. You know, the other nations. Okay. So really, the people that runs America turned America against the world, all right, only for the people to be the bait. You see? Because if the people can't get to the banking elites, all right, they just gonna get to Americans, man. And that's what you gotta understand. You are in a line of fire, Jake. You are a target, man. Regardless if you did anything or not. And that's why we say there's a great judgment coming to the whore, man. All right, that's sitting on many waters, which waters is people, right? In verse 14, the Lord of hosts has sworn by himself, saying, surely I will fill thee with men, as with caterpillars, which caterpillars eat up whatever it is in. All right, and that eating up gonna be symbolic to what? Slaughter and murdering people, man. And they shall lift up a shout against thee. Now let me read some of this article. All right, and, you know, Lord willing to be edifying. All right, let's see what he's saying right here.
Look at it just based on violence or the propensity of violence in that crime. What I looked at is someone has committed a crime in the United States. Now, if you look at someone that has just been arrested, say, for DUI, well, some people might say that's only a misdemeanor. We may have prevented vehicular homicide down the road for someone that's a habitual traffic offender. I can't look at the larger scale of what specific the crimes are, you know, whether it's a rape, a homicide. Of course, you want to get those worst of the worst. But if someone's committed a crime here in the United States and been let back into the community, and they're here illegally, we need to focus on that.
So it says at 803, Todd Line says agents will arrest anyone in the U.S. illegally, not just criminals. So even if you are, you know, let's just say they mistakenly mistake you as an illegal U.S. citizen, which they have been doing, because they've been taking citizens of the United States. Shit, Trump say we'll even put our people in Venezuela prisons. All right? Say some of our people need to go. Let me read a little bit. Washington, in an exclusive interview with CBS News, the head of U.S. Immigrants and Customs Enforcement, said his agents will arrest anyone they find in the country illegal, man. All right? And there's no telling where they bringing you at, man. They bring these people to FEMA camps, and they're, you know, who knows what they bringing them as. All right? Or what they doing. Or what they transforming them into. You know, what kind of drugs they are ministering to them, right? Turning them into lab rats to, you know, like on a purge, creating machines out of people. I mean, you got to think about this the devil, all right? So their experimental projectish mind goes very far, you see? Even if they lack criminal record, while also cracking down on companies hiring unauthorized workers. So it says, Todd Lyons, the acting director of ICE, said his agencies will prioritize its limited sources on arresting and deporting the worst of the worst, such as those in the U.S. unlawfully, who also have serious criminal histories, right? But Lyons said 9 criminals living in the U.S. without authorization will also be taken into custody during arrest operations, arguing that states and cities with sanctuary policies that limit cooperation between ICE and local law enforcement are forcing its agents to go into communities by not turning over non-citizen inmates. It says, what's again frustrating for me is that the fact that we love to focus on these criminal aliens that are inside a jail facility. Lyons said during his first sit-down network interview on Face the Nation with Margaret Bennett, a local law enforcement agency already deemed that person a public safety threat and arrested them, and they're in detention. All right, so these detention centers are nothing more than FEMA holding camps. All right, pretty much, and we know what those camps are set up for, man. All right, these modern day prisons that being built. All right, they're actually being built to. They're not being built to just keep you in jail forever. I'm gonna say that, man. All right. Read and look up on things and see what they're actually being prepared for, man. All right, and they have over thousands of them here, man. You know, hundreds, thousands. All right. Look at Alligator Alcatraz. You think that's just a holding facility? Use your mind, Jake. All right. But it says to take them in custody I would much rather focus on all our limited resources on that to take them into custody. And I'm gonna say this thing too. This whole ICE thing is a spectacle, man. All right, you had people reporting that you just go buy a uniform off Temu, all right, or offline, all right, and put a Pooh Shiesty mask on, and anybody can be ICE. And that's relatively close to. I mean, that's about as true as it could get. Because nobody actually sees these people. I mean, who authorized them? Who are they? What are their credentials? Where they come from? Right? It could be everyday citizens like you or me went got the whole giddy up and just running people down, man. But we know that's for a bigger, it's something bigger than the ICE thing, right? It's trafficking and organ harvesting, amongst other things. We know what's up, man. Right? Just agenda to sidetrack and alter people's mind from the real thing that's going on, man. Right? It says, but we do have to go out into the community and make those arrests, and that's where you're seeing that increase in so-called collateral arrests, and that's why you're seeing, people shooting at them, and it's gonna get volatile, man, hostile. All right, until they ultimately be like, look, everybody is a immigrant. The whole nation because they could just come out and say we don't know who's who no more. We don't know if the true U.S. Citizens, if they here illegally on, even if their papers right, even if their birth certificates. I mean, they can just come out with anything. All right, at this point, they're gonna do that. Right, pull a false flag to what? Carry their agenda out, man. To what? Just really to lock you people down. Because America about to be locked down, man. All right? And it's going to be, and you're going to have foreign troops and people from other countries walking around that don't speak English, all right, to patrol and handle you people, man. All right? Yes, my family going to be included in that. I myself too. So when I speak, we speak of the truth. But we understand at that time, all right, that for the elect men, the Lord gonna set up a standard for the elect men too. As he preparing a standard for Babylon, he's getting the standard ready for the elect men. All right, and that standard is what? That protection, his wings of safety. It says, Lyons added, referring to individuals who are not the original targets of operation, but are nonetheless found in the U.S. unlawfully. If ICE encounters someone that is here in the country legally, we will take them into custody, Lyons said. So who are here illegally? Right? I think between that Darren Strait, all right, or that Darren Gap, whatever it is, all right, you had all sorts of people coming in. We're looking at those videos, Indians and Northern tribe. You had fucking, you had Moab coming in here through the back way. All right, Ammon. So you got a lot of these U.S. citizens, but we don't see ICE going to get, the Chinese people that came in here, the Russians that came in here. All right, and there's way many more other nations that came in here, but it's not Operation ICE. Operation Get the Russians, Operations Get the Chinese. All right, it's just Operation Get the illegal immigrants. Right, blame all the crime on them. All right, you got sleeper cells, you got Blackwater and all these private these private security companies and different things of that nature that's in here ready to get busy, man. Right? It says, we have opened up the whole aperture. What is this? Aperture. Let's look this up. Let's look this aperture up. An opening hole, a gap. Bell Road passes through the apertures of the ceilings. All right. Let's see. It says, collateral arrests by ICE were effective ban under the Biden administration. They blame everything on Biden. That everybody just over illegally, whatever. Which issue nobody could tell by, and he ain't the president no more. What are we talking about here? Just blame it on the last president. Which issue rules instructing deportation officers to largely focus on arresting serious criminal offenders, national security threats, and migrants who recently entered into the U.S. illegally. That policy was reversed immediately after President Trump took office for a second time in January. Yeah. All right. As part of Mr. Trump's promise to crack down on illegal immigration, his administration has given ICE a broad mandate. And then listen, they're shipping billions of dollars into ICE. They also said that the military is joining ICE. All right? So it's going to get diabolical, man. All right? To help. So it's that many immigrants here to where you got to get the military joined in, foreign troops and everybody else to come in to get. Come on, man. Right? Yeah, the migrants over here, are they part of the crime? Of course. Wherever Jake at, the crime rate gonna be out. But for the most part, people just trying to work and feed their family. But we get it. Everybody ain't just trying to work and feed their family. All right, it's an opportunity. But they have labeled America as a place of opportunity, man. All right, so you gonna get all nations of people trying to get here because she's still the treasure of the earth, man. The dollar haven't been overtaken. You got bricks and different things, but for the most part, she's still at that golden city. It says, with White House Deputy Chief of Staff Stephen Miller pushing the agency to conduct 30,000 daily arrests, while ICE has so far not gotten close to that number, the agency just received tens of billions of dollars, and additional funds from Congress to turbocharge its deportation campaign. Right? So that's pretty much the point, That's all I wanted to kind of speak on it. All right, but for the furthermore, man, they're gonna take U.S. citizens into jail, man. It's just a double standard. All right, and this shit, this ICE thing is getting a quite bit interesting, man. All right, they're putting a lot of emphasis on this thing. All right, when you got, the cryptocurrency bill passed. And the digital dollar, and amongst other things, man, that's going on in the background, man, that you have to pay close attention to. All right, because biblical prophecy is nigh, so obviously they're gonna come in like a flood, man, to get the people. All right, so I don't want to write this out of Zeta Farm. Next time I say shalom.